Welcome to this special edition of Inside Look TV. Today, we're bringing you several interviews from a recent event with three very special women. Giuliana Rancic of E! News and Fashion Police, celebrity trainer Jillian Michaels, and Lisa Nichols, CEO of Motivating the Masses. To kick this off, have you ever heard of Fabuish? Well, here's an example of someone who took a serious and frightening situation for herself and turned it into a dream for others. Check out the amiable and fun Giuliana Rancic.
Shortly after I was diagnosed with breast cancer, I was driving with my husband and I came up with the idea. I remember exactly where we were when I came up with the idea. And I said, Bill, I want to do something that allows women who are going through breast cancer to just feel fabulous for the day and to feel pretty. You know, when you're going through breast cancer, sometimes it's hard to look in the mirror. You know, it's a very tough period of time that you go through. And I found that when I would go to work, when I would go to E, I would walk in feeling very lousy, you know, and then I would get my hair and makeup done and my clothes put on and I would go do E! News and I would suddenly, you know, my energy would come up and I would look in the mirror and I would feel pretty again. And so I said, you know, what if I could do that for these women going through breast cancer? And so that's what I came up with, a program called Fabuish, and I teamed up with a wonderful organization called Bright Pink out of Chicago. Bright Pink is an organization that specializes in young women who are going through breast and ovarian cancer, and they support young women because more and more young women are being diagnosed. So I teamed up with Bright Pink, and through them we're granting wishes. And actually I just went through my first batch of wishes the other night because we just launched Fabuish 2 weeks ago. Very exciting. And we went through the first batch of submissions the other night, and there were some really beautiful stories, incredible stories. One that stands out is a young lady who's a Marine. Said her whole life she's felt like a boy. You know, she was one of the guys, she became a Marine. When she was in Afghanistan, she was diagnosed with breast cancer and came home, young girl, about 30 years old. And she said, and now, you know, I lost my hair and not only, like now I feel like a boy more than ever. And she said, the one thing I want is finally, I'm gonna get choked up, for the first time in my life, I'm gonna feel like a princess. And it's just, I mean, you know, and this is the sort of thing you read and you go, so right when I read that, I'm like, we have to do that one. They're like, it's the first one you're reading. We have like 500. I'm like, we're doing her. And then the next one I read, I'm like, and we're doing them, you know? And it was just, you know, it's been incredible. And what I love about the program too is, you know, I'm not doing what other organizations are trying to do, which is raise money for the research. And there's so many great organizations that do that so well and raise so much money to find a cure, to get the research. But for me, I just thought, what am I, and this is one of my messages today, what can I bring to the table? You know, I don't know doctors and researchers and scientists. I don't know these people. Who do I know? I know stylists, I know hair and makeup girls, I know celebrities. So let me utilize my talents and what I'm good at to make a difference. So that's one of actually my messages today. Yeah, so it's a lot of fun. So for more information, you can go to fabuish.org and you can submit a loved one for their wish. Yeah.
Clearly, Giuliana's challenge will be to choose some of the wishes when her heart really wants to choose all of them. Now, as many now know, Giuliana is a breast cancer survivor, and we asked her what gave her the courage to go public with this very personal story.
You know, I've been given this incredible platform. You know, I have such an amazing job. You know, not only do I get to do all the fun things like go on a red carpet and meet celebrities, and that's all I ever expected to do with my job. But when the opportunity came up to make a difference and not just tell people, you know, what outfit Gwyneth Paltrow's wearing, but actually give women information that could save their lives, it was a no-brainer for me to go public. I mean, I struggled at the beginning with it, and there were definitely, you know, there was a couple week period there where I thought, I'm not going to go public. You know, I spoke to my family about it, my husband, and I thought, I just want to keep this hush-hush, you know, because when you go public with something like that, it just opens up your whole life, and then you talk about it forever, and which can be hard. And so I just had to look at the pros and cons, and the pros outweighed the cons. The fact that, yeah, it's going to be hard to talk about for the rest of my life, but at the same time, I can make a difference in so many lives. And I can't tell you the amount of women, young women, older women who have come up to me and said, because of you, I got a mammogram. Because of you, I found breast cancer. And I go, oh God, I never expected to ever make that difference, ever. And it just shows that anyone can do it. And trust me, if I can do that, anyone can make a difference. So that's why I'm public, yeah.
Giuliana discovered that a little bit of courage truly can change the lives of others. As a native of the D.C. area, she told us what she misses most about her hometown.
The one thing I miss the most about Washington, of course, is my mom's cooking. let's throw that out there right now. I grew up in Bethesda, Maryland, and so I miss being at home. But she visits me in LA a lot. But I miss the city. I mean, right now, Washington more than ever is booming. I was visiting recently, and I couldn't believe that this was the Washington, D.C., where I spent my childhood, especially, I came here in the early 80s, and I left in about 97. So 80s, 90s, I cannot believe the boom. It's interesting. My husband actually pointed it out. He goes, you can't look anywhere without seeing a construction crane. That's how much development is happening in D.C. It's such an exciting time to be here. So I love the energy of this city. It's just such a great city. It's more beautiful than ever, cleaner than ever, and just more exciting than ever. So I just miss living in the city.
She is awesome and so full of life. And be sure to visit her new DC restaurant called RPM Italian, opening in 2015. Now, our second special woman has created more losers than anyone else, but these losers were never happier than when Jillian Michaels was done with them. We asked the fitness guru how she keeps fit with her celebrity schedule.
So honestly, right now, my schedule has been really hectic, and when I can't get to the gym or I can't exercise in the way that I would like, it's about managing your diet, because if you're not overeating, you're not going to gain weight. You might not be the most fit you've ever been. Like, if you asked me to run 5 miles right now, I'm sure I would pray for death. But I still am healthy. I still fit into my clothes. So when you can't work out, you manage the things that you eat, and it's about quantity and quality. And then if you can work out 4 half hours a week, when you go to the gym, whatever you're doing, work out hard. Push yourself. Work at 85% of your maximum heart rate, even if it's Zumba or kickboxing. If you're getting that heart rate up and you're moving your body as intensely as you can manage without injury, you're going to get the best results.
Those were some great tips, and they make a lot of sense. But we dug a little further and asked Jillian how she gets started, which is very difficult for a lot of people. And here's what she said.
Number one, you have to educate yourself. Taking any action without the proper information is like taking a wrecking ball to your life. You wouldn't start a small business without understanding the financials. If you're going to attempt to lose weight, you've got to understand the science behind weight loss. And this is where a lot of those fad diets really hurt people, because misinformation when it comes to your health can be anything from yo-yo dieting, you take it off, you put it all back on and then some, to really damaging your metabolism, gallbladder surgery, the list could go on and on. So educate yourself. Basics of weight loss. Weight loss 101. Calories in, calories out. And the second thing, once you have that information, which really isn't that hard to acquire, the question is, if it's that simple, why are so many people not doing it? And it's not easy. People use food as a coping mechanism, as a defense mechanism. What you need to do is establish a lasting motivation that supersedes all of those issues, utilizing food as comfort. And I would say, ask yourself why you want to lose the weight, why you want to be healthy, and think again about how it's going to improve the overall quality of your life. Because if you have that why to live for, you can really tolerate any how of going about it.
We ended our chat with Jillian, a world-class celebrity trainer, by asking what motivates her to keep up her own fitness, and she had an answer for the ages.
You know, in my 20s, it was skinny jeans. In my 30s, it was my career. And now, as I'm almost approaching my 40s, it's my family. Because I think about my son, he's turning 1, and I'm 39. When he's 11, I'm going to be 50. An 11-year-old needs somebody out there on the surfboard next to them, or on the skis on the mountain next to them. I want to be that parent for my kid. And it's not like he came into my life when I was 25. So now it's my family.
Now for our third inspiring woman. Our host Cathleen Doyel caught up with Lisa Nichols to ask her about her worldwide travels and empowering the masses.
Now, I know that it's called Motivating the Masses. Can you speak a little bit about what you all do?
Well, we started the company purely as an inspirational company to motivate the masses, but to motivate the masses one niche at a time. So to not try to touch everyone, but to really focus on touching teenagers. How do we teach teens how to fall madly in love with themselves? And then focus on women. And then entrepreneurs, and then it went to women entrepreneurs. And so we've gotten to the masses, but one niche at a time. And it's transformed now into an inspirational and training and development company. So we work on personal development and we work on professional and business development. So we really have a foundation of inspiration, but we sit in the context of a training and development company.
Now, you talk a lot about inspiring others. Who do you find inspirational?
Oh my God, so many people. See, I don't look for a giant necessarily the way the world sees a giant. I look for people who choose every day, ordinary people who choose every day to make extraordinary decisions, and they inspire me. There are a few people who were my teachers. I've been a study of many, many thought leaders, many business leaders, but the people who have really guided my essence, my brand, my core, my character the most really are change agent luminaries such as Nelson Mandela. Studied a lot of his work. Mother Teresa, studied a lot of her work. Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Stephen Covey, who teaches 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And then the number one person who I literally sat at her hymn and learned for years on how to be a better woman is my grandmother. And so I always jokingly say I'm an eclectic piece of work. I'm like a mutt. I pull from people from all over. I have current leaders who've taught me how to do business, marketing, online, book tour. But those individuals taught me the charge of your character, being willing to stand for something, being willing to be called outrageous, radical, strange for what you believe. So those were the primary people.
Something that you started off saying was that you've achieved you've accomplished your calling and you've found your calling in life. I think a lot of people struggle with trying to figure out what their calling is. What advice do you have to people that are still looking exactly for what their calling is?
Not to compare it to someone else's calling. So often I see people comparing what they think they should be doing based on what someone else is doing. Like, I think I should be speaking because I'm so inspired by you. Well, define what you should be doing individually. And most individuals, their purpose, their calling is something that they're already doing. They're just doing it so effortlessly that you think it should be difficult. You think it should be challenging, and it doesn't have to be challenging. People coach me to help them become more powerful speakers, to tell great stories, to manage their voice inflection. And I still feel a little guilty whenever they hire me because it's so easy for me to do that. It's that thing. If you're a great listener, then you should be in a career that requires you to listen. And most people think that your calling is something you need to do as a career. A lot of people's calling is a hobby. So don't think it needs to be your career. Don't try to force it into something you have to make money doing. It's just something that brings you great joy and something that adds great value to the people around you. Whatever that is. It could be a little league coach. It could be, a stay-at-home mom. My father was born to be a dad. He's the best dad on the planet. And all of my friends, all of my colleagues call him Dad because he's that dad that so many people didn't have. He's that dad. He's not perfect, but he's that great dad. He was born to be a father. Like, you can't put a career to that. But that was his purpose, his calling. What's that thing that you do effortlessly that makes the imaginary baby in your belly jump? Oftentimes we move away from that because we think we need to be responsible. Well, no, move back to that. That's being responsible.
3 women, 3 missions, and a whole lot of accomplishment, making a difference and leaving health and beauty in their paths. Well, this has been a very special edition of Inside Look TV, and I hope this leaves you inspired to leave your lasting mark on the lives of others. Please follow us online and social media, and remember that Inside Look TV is everywhere for you. I'm your host, Jane Ruby.
Thank you.